My name is Nkem. If anyone had told me that my life would turn out this way, I would have laughed and called them a prophet of doom. I was the kind of woman who believed in love, who believed in marriage, who believed in building a home with a man through thick and thin. But life has a way of teaching you that belief is not always enough. I met my husband, Obina, when I was 25. He was charming, ambitious, and had a smile that could melt the heart of any woman. I was working as a nurse in a small hospital in Onitsha, and he was an up-and-coming businessman, dealing in electronics. He didn't have much at the time, but he had dreams, and I loved that about him. I believed in him more than he believed in himself. When he asked me to marry him, I didn't think twice. I said yes with all my heart. I told myself that we would build a beautiful life together, that we would struggle and rise together. I emptied my savings to support his business. I took loans in my name to help him expand. When I got pregnant, I worked extra shifts to make sure we had enough. I was the kind of wife who cooked his meals fresh every day, who massaged his feet after a long day, who prayed for him at night. I never asked for too much. I just wanted his love, his faithfulness, his companionship. But what does my husband want? It started subtly. Late nights at work. Secret phone calls. A change in his scent, one that was no longer familiar, one that smelled like expensive perfume I didn't own. Nkem, stop overthinking things, he would say when I asked. I am working hard for this family. Do you think money falls from the sky? I would nod and swallow my doubts. After all, was this not the same man I sacrificed everything for? The same man I prayed for every night? Then one day, I found the first undeniable proof. A text message on his phone. I hadn't meant to look, but the phone was just there, and the message flashed on the screen. Baby, I can't wait to see you again. Last night was magical. I felt my world crumble. I confronted him that night, my hands shaking, my heart pounding. He didn't deny it. He didn't even try to lie. He just looked at me and said, Nkem, I'm a man. These things happen. I couldn't believe it. These things happen. I echoed, my voice barely a whisper. Obina, I gave you everything. Everything. How could you do this to me? But he just shrugged. You're a good wife, but men get tired. I need excitement. I need variety. I cried that night, long after he had turned his back on me and gone to sleep. The betrayal burned deep, but I told myself that I had to fight for my home. I had sacrificed too much to walk away. The months that followed were hell. He stopped pretending. He stopped hiding. He would go out and not return until morning. The whispers in the neighborhood grew louder. Then, one day, I heard the final blow. My husband was marrying another woman. Not just any woman, one of his side chicks. I didn't believe it at first. But then I saw the wedding invitation. My husband was marrying another woman, and I was still his wife. I confronted him, my body shaking with rage. Obina, what is this? He sighed, like a man who was tired of an annoying mosquito. Nkem, you need to understand. I still respect you. You are the mother of my children. But I love her. She makes me feel alive. I slapped him. For the first time in my life, I raised my hand and slapped the man I had loved with everything in me. He looked shocked but said nothing. That night, I packed my things. I took my children and left. I left behind the house I had struggled to build with him, the life I had poured my soul into. I left with nothing but my dignity and the painful lessons life had taught me. 5 years passed. 5 years of rebuilding myself from the ashes of heartbreak. 5 years of learning to love myself again, of holding my children close and promising them that no matter what, we would be okay. And we were. By God's grace, I got a better job and started my own business. My skin glowed again. My laughter returned. I no longer woke up with a heaviness in my chest. I had learned the hard way that sometimes, love is not enough to keep a home together. Then, one evening, my phone rang. I almost ignored it, but something told me to look. It was Obina. For a moment, I just stared at the screen. His name, the same name that once made my heart flutter, now felt foreign. I hadn't spoken to him since I left his house. What could he possibly want? I answered. His voice was weak, almost unrecognizable. Nkem, please. I need to see you. There was something in his tone, desperation, regret, a weight that hadn't been there before. Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a small, rundown restaurant. Not the kind of place Obina would have chosen years ago when his pockets were deep and his pride was taller than mountains. When I walked in, I had to look twice before I recognized him. Obina, my once proud and confident husband, looked like a shadow of himself. His eyes were sunken, his clothes hung loosely on his frame, and his skin had lost the rich glow it once had. His hands trembled slightly as he lifted a glass of water to his lips. For a long moment, I just stood there, staring. The man who had once humiliated me, the man who had chosen another woman over his own family, now looked broken. Nkem, he breathed when he saw me. He tried to smile, but it faltered. I sat across from him, crossing my arms. What do you want, Obina? He swallowed hard, looking down at his hands. She left me. I didn't react. I had expected this. The same way he betrayed me, she had betrayed him. She took everything, he continued. My money, my business, even the house. She drained me, Nkem. Used me and threw me away like I was nothing. He let out a shaky breath. Now I have nothing. I tilted my head. Nothing. He nodded. I lost my business. My friends disappeared the moment I went broke. I can barely afford to eat. His voice cracked. I miss my family. I let out a small laugh, but there was no humor in it. Your family. He looked up at me, eyes filled with pain. I want my family back, Nkem. I want you back. I want to come home. For a long moment, I just stared at him. I thought of the nights I cried myself to sleep, the nights I prayed for him to see my worth. I thought of the shame, the whispers, the way he made me feel like I was not enough. Then I thought of the woman I had become. The woman who had picked herself up and built a new life. I leaned forward slightly, holding his gaze. Obina, I said, my voice soft but firm, do you remember the night I begged you to choose me? To choose us? He closed his eyes, his face twisting in regret. I nodded. I wanted my husband. I wanted my family. But you wanted variety. You wanted excitement. I leaned back, letting the silence stretch between us. He wiped his face, his hands shaking. I was a fool, Nkem. Please, I just want another chance. I exhaled and stood up. I picked up my handbag, adjusted my dress, and looked down at him. Obina, I said, a small smile playing on my lips, these things happen. And then I walked away, never looking back.